My words are not reaching you by accident. I speak into your spirit at this exact hour because I know you are ready to hear. This moment carries my design on it. You have waited with a hopeful heart and quiet requests, and the season I set aside for you has now arrived. I have heard what you never said out loud. I have watched the part of your struggle that no one else was allowed to see. Out of all who could have received this word, I chose to bring it to you. As these words settle in, a steadiness will begin to spread through you. The restlessness will loosen its hold. That quiet certainty rising in your chest is my presence. It is a clear sign of the bond between us in this very hour. You may be asking why it would be you, or whether you have earned the right to stand here. Let me answer plainly. My love for you has never shifted, not once, not even in the years you would rather not talk about. I saw every battle you fought without a witness. I saw the hours you kept going when no one asked how you were holding up. Today I step directly into your road, and I bring my strength with me. I have come to show you that I am still doing remarkable things, and that you are not standing outside of them. Do not let doubt cloud what I am bringing forward. This turning point is not a wish you are holding. It is your reality, beginning now. Keep your heart open. Stay near me. Watch what I have purposed for you begin to take shape in front of you. Your season of waiting has closed. The hour I appointed has opened. You are going to see my true nature revealed in ways far larger than the picture you have been carrying. I have always been with you, walking beside you, standing at the edge of every room you thought you entered alone. And I am here now, exactly where your feet are planted. What is moving toward your life is bigger than your mind can hold at this moment. The stretches that felt like nothing was happening were not empty. I was at work in them. I was building something in you that does not crack under pressure. The doors that stayed shut were not my rejection of you. They were my hand across your path. If you could see what waited on the other side of some of them, you would give thanks for every one that would not open. What I have for you is stronger. It is safer. It holds more. And now the hour has come. Do not be surprised by the calm you may feel today, a stillness that is hard to put into words. Do not question the quiet that is settling over your spirit. That is me. I am close around you at this moment. The weight you have carried for so long is beginning to lift. Things that were fastened to you are coming loose while you listen. Fear is losing its grip. Doubt is thinning out. You are stepping into something sacred that I set in motion long before you had any awareness of it. I have spoken quiet truths into you many times, even when you believed they were only your own thoughts. That was me. My voice never stopped. You simply grew used to the noise and stopped separating one sound from another. But my love never paused, and my leading never wavered. Listen carefully now. This hour is holy. Do not rush through it. Do not announce everything to everyone yet. Some sacred matters are best kept in stillness until their proper season. Let me finish what I have started before you begin to speak of it. Let this work take root in quiet ground. I am not passing through your life. I am staying. I am not handing you one favor and stepping back. I am bringing deep change. I am rearranging what needed rearranging, clearing roads, turning your direction. Later you will look back and know that no one else could have done it. Perhaps you have felt small, overlooked, set aside, but I watched your spirit grow in those quiet years. You were kept back because what is coming asks for a steady core, and I let that firmness form in you first. Others may not understand what it costs you just to keep going. They did not see the road. I did. And I honor how you stayed on it, Hear this clearly. What I am bringing will ask for your full trust. It will ask for quiet thought. Not everyone around you will celebrate what I am about to do. Not everyone will understand it. That is acceptable. You are not walking this road for the approval of people. You are walking it with me. You may still feel unsure. You may be wondering whether this truly points at you. My answer is simple. Yes, it does. This is your appointed hour. This is your turning point. The long season of barely getting by is closing behind you, and a season of favor is opening in front of you. New openings are showing themselves. Answers are becoming clear. Help is being provided, and nothing can hold it back. Not your past, not your mistakes. I have spoken it, and what I speak always stands. Your part now is to guard the peace inside you. Stay in conversation with me. Keep your heart ready and your spirit quiet. Let me finish this work. Do not run ahead of it. Do not try to force what I am showing you into being. This is not something you have to chase down. It is something I am carrying to you. You have hauled weights that were never assigned to you. You have kept a steady face on so that others would not worry. But I see the real thing underneath, my beloved, and I value it far above the performance. I am not asking you to be flawless. I am asking you to be honest. Come to me exactly as you are and let me handle everything else. I am not disappointed in you. I am pleased with you, with your steady faith, with your effort in the years when giving up would have been easier. If you believe me, say your amen now. Now let me speak to the fear you have not put into words. The fear that this is one more hope that will thin out and disappear. The fear that if you let yourself believe again, you will be standing in the same disappointment by the end of the month. I know that argument well. I have watched it run through you. But this season is not built like the ones behind you. I am directly involved in it. Your expectation is not foolish. You are leaning on the one who does not fail, and what I have promised is already in motion. There is something I want you to release, and I am asking for it now. Release the idea that good things arrive only so they can be taken back. That is not how I deal with you. I do not hand you something with one hand and reach for it with the other. What I give gladly, because you are mine. Let your heart open all the way again. I know you have kept parts of it closed to keep from being hurt twice. You have real reasons. But I am not entering your life to add to the pile. I am here to make you whole. Let go of the bitterness, including the kind you keep hidden and well managed. Release the quiet resentment toward the ones who wounded you and never came back to make it right. Hand those names to me. I will deal with what needs dealing with. You stay free. Bitterness is a locked door on the inside of your own house. I am not asking you to pretend nothing happened. I am asking you to put the memory in my keeping so it stops taking rent from your spirit. You will be surprised by how much room this makes. Your breathing will come easier. You will laugh again. Not because every circumstance turned perfect, but because you finally let me restore what was worn down. Something is coming back to you that hardship tried to dim. A steadiness, a settled kind of gladness that does not rise and fall with the news of the day. It has already started. Even now my presence is resting on you gently, and if you notice a warmth or a quiet loosening in your chest, that is my spirit confirming that I am near. Now let me answer the question you have asked me more than any other. How much longer? There were stretches when nothing appeared to move at all, and you began to wonder if I had stopped listening. Understand this. My timing is not set by what you want soonest. It is set by what will actually hold I have been working on things you could not see. What looked like a full stop was my hand across the road. What felt like silence was my hand at work in rooms you had no way to enter. Every quiet request reached me. Not one has been misplaced. I have been nearer than you understood, holding your path steady, making certain that when the hour came, the pieces would meet the way they were meant to. And now let me answer the other fear, that you have missed your chance, that your mistakes stacked too high, that my commitment to you finally wore thin. Hear this without arguing. Nothing you have done has reduced my love for you. I do not withdraw what I have promised. My purpose for you has not moved an inch. You stumbled, I stayed. Drop the belief that you must get everything right before my kindness can reach you. That is not the arrangement. What I give reveals who I am. It is not a payment for a flawless record. You have held yourself to standards I never set for you. You decided you had to be spotless before I would act. But I act out of love for you, not out of an accounting of your performance. What I want from you is an open heart, and whatever trust you have, even if it is small. You do not need enormous belief to see great things. You need honest belief. The kind that says, I do not understand all of this, but I am placing my confidence in you anyway. That kind of trust moves what looked immovable, and you have more of it than you give yourself credit for. Your refusal to quit when you were exhausted was faith. Your choice to be kind while you were hurting was faith. The fact that you are still here, still listening for my voice, is the proof. One more thing I want lifted off you. Stop measuring your road against someone else's. Do not look at what I am doing in another life and let it make you question what I am doing in yours. Their road is not your road. I am telling a particular story with your life, shaped for you alone. You are not slow. You are not behind. You are standing exactly where you need to be for the next step I intend to take. Hold on to that, my precious child, and trust me once more. There is something else you should know about the years that felt so heavy. Some of that weight did not come from your circumstances at all. There was opposition working against you, and it was not imagined. The closed roads, the requests that seemed to go unanswered, the strange way progress kept slipping just out of reach. Not all of that was ordinary life. Some of it was arranged. There were those who did not want you to arrive at this hour, because they understood what I placed inside you. They saw the calling before you did. That is why the resistance came so hard and so often, aimed at the exact places where you were most tired. But it did not work. You are still standing, and that alone tells you how close I have been. Say your amen aloud if your heart agrees. I held you in the heat of the forge, and I want you to understand what was happening there. The heavy strikes were not aimed at breaking you. They were shaping an edge that holds under pressure. Metal that has never been worked bends the first time it meets resistance. You do not bend like that anymore. I was not standing at a distance during those years. I was at the anvil. I was making you ready to carry the weight of what I am now placing in your hands. While everything around you was loud, a steady current was moving underneath, and it carried you to this shore. I have set something like iron in the center of your chest. It is a foundation that will not split when the demands of your calling begin. You felt the friction. You have the marks. But the reservoir is unsealing now, and my strength is moving, and you will not be swept away by it. There is a step I am asking of you here, and I ask it plainly, because trust that stays inside the mind has not yet become trust. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Now let me return to what I am doing in you. The work of the forge is finished, and the season of simply enduring has ended. You are a tool of iron in my hand, and iron in my hand is not decoration. It is for building. There is something in front of you that will require every bit of what those years put into you. Stay alert with your spirit awake. Notice what I begin to bring together around you. Watch as I line up conversations, connections, and openings. Some of them will look small at first, so small that you might dismiss them. Do not. Those are the first steps of something much larger. Do not rush and do not grow anxious. What I am building in your life is meant to last. It is not fragile, and it is not temporary. This is a change that reaches down to the roots of who you are. You are not simply going to feel better. You are going to be renewed from the inside out. I want to speak now about something that has troubled you for a long time, and about people whose names you would rather not say. You have sensed for a while that something was not right. Someone smiled at you and something in you tightened, and you had no proof. So you told yourself you were imagining it. You were not imagining it. Your spirit was picking up what your eyes could not confirm. There has been harm arranged against you in quiet, and I have kept a full record of it. Nothing done behind your back escaped my attention. I'm not telling you this to fill you with suspicion. I am telling you because the season of not knowing is over. What was hidden is coming into the open, and it will not come out by your investigation. It will come out because I am bringing it out. Watch how it happens. People will begin to show you who they are without meaning to. Conversations will turn and reveal more than the speaker intended. Old arrangements will not hold. Your own discernment will sharpen until you can feel the difference between someone who brings peace and someone who brings noise, dressed up as concern. That is not fear operating in you. That is understanding, and it is the gift that comes out of what you went through. You paid a price for it, and now you will use it well. There is a particular ache in learning that someone close to you was working against you. It is not only the loss of a person. It is the loss of the version of your life you thought you were living. I know that ache, and I am not asking you to move past it before you have felt it. But do not build a house there. The revealing is not the end of the story. It is the clearing of the ground. Once the false thing is named, the space it occupied belongs to you again, and I intend to fill it with something real. Do not go looking for a fight. Do not spend your strength trying to explain yourself to those who have already decided against you. Do not argue your case in the street. When I step in, you step back. Let me answer what your own heart could never answer well. You are not called to get even. You are called to walk free. My concern is not their punishment. My concern is your safety, and your safety is settled. No weapon shaped against you will finish its work, whether it comes at your provision, your peace, or your household. I want you to hear something else because it matters. What came against you did not come because you were weak. It came because you were carrying something worth stopping. The strong thing draws the attack, not the small thing. They recognized what I placed in you before you recognized it yourself. That is the whole reason for the pressure. It did not come from your failure. It came from your worth. and it did not accomplish what it set out to do. You are standing here. That is the answer to every accusation ever whispered about you. You are standing, and I am the reason, and what I have begun in you no one will undo. Let me tell you what to expect in the days directly ahead, because I do not want you caught off guard by your own answered prayers. Some people are going to move away from your life, and it will happen without an argument. The calls will slow. The invitations will thin. Do not chase after any of it. That is not rejection. That is the air around your life being cleared so that something else can grow in it. Trust the quiet that follows. It is not emptiness. It is room. And I will fill it with people you will recognize by the peace they carry, rather than by how loudly they promise things. You have had enough of loud promises. What comes next will be steadier and far less impressive at first glance, and it will hold. Now hear me carefully, because this next part is where many stumble. Someone who caused you real harm may come back. There will be an apology, or something shaped like one. There will be an explanation, a story about how they were lost at the time, a reminder of how much history you share. Not every apology is repentance. Some are simply a hand on the door to keep it from closing. Be slow to open. Be quick to notice. Your peace is no longer available for the taking. I am not asking you to be cold. I am asking you to be wise. You can wish someone well from a distance and still keep the gate shut. Kindness has never required you to hand over your rest a second time. Do not rebuild what I have taken apart. If I ended something, I ended it on purpose, and putting the pieces back together will only cost you the ground you have gained. Let it go where it is going. Remember Joseph, whom I loved. His own brothers sold him and told his father a lie to cover it, and for years the record showed only their version of events. He went down into a pit, then into a house that was not his, then into a prison for something he did not do. Not one of those places looked like favor from the outside, but I was not absent from any of them. I was setting him in position, and I was letting the true character of every person around him come into the open in its own time. When the famine came, the brothers who sold him stood in front of him asking for bread, and he was the one holding it. I did not require him to take revenge. I did not need him to argue his case or prove what had been done to him. The years spoke for him. His life became the evidence, and their own words condemned them without his help. That is how I work, and I have not changed my methods. What was done to you in the dark will be answered in the open, and you will not have to lift your hand to make it happen. You are not the same one who used to plead to be loved. The part of you that made room for disrespect and called it patience is gone. You are not the one who stays quiet so that everyone else stays comfortable. That season is behind you. Now I want to speak to your thoughts, because that is where the next fight will be, if there is one at all. There are thoughts that rise in you that did not begin with you. Ideas that press in and stay after you have tried to set them down. They tell you that you are less than you are, that this will not last, that you should not have hoped. They are not yours, and you do not have to keep them. There is a real difference between noticing a thought as it goes by and giving it a chair by the fire. Many take in ideas they should have turned away at the door. The part of you that is joined to me cannot sit peacefully with thoughts that cut down your worth. So take part in this deliberately. When a thought arrives that brings dismay, hold it up against the truth of who I am. When guilt returns for something already settled between us, say plainly that your peace is secure with me. When hardship reaches for your throat, call for my nearness. and I will come close. Let go of the belief that some thoughts are simply unavoidable, that you are stuck with a certain kind of mind. That is not true. When you take up this work with understanding and reliance on me, you will find your quiet coming back. And understand my aim in it. I'm not only clearing burdens out of your thinking, I intend to make my dwelling in the exact place those burdens used to sit. Where I live, there is freedom. The part of you that is set loose does not only get quiet, it gets ready for what I have prepared. You are not promised a life without difficulty. Hold that steady so no one can shake you with it later. I never told you the road would be smooth. I told you I would be on it with you, and I have kept that word in every hard season you have survived. The peace I give does not depend on your troubles disappearing. It comes from my presence in the middle of them. That kind of stillness does not rise and fall with the weather. It holds as long as your attention holds. Where you fix your attention changes everything. A spirit that chooses to rest on me, even in a situation that makes no sense, does not get knocked over easily. When your mind takes hold of the truth of who I am, whatever is trying to unsettle you loses its grip. The one who opposes you knows this. That is why the attack is aimed at your feelings rather than your circumstances. He raises questions. He points at possible disasters. He stirs the water so you cannot see the bottom. But as you learn to keep your spirit turned toward me, no wave of feeling can steer you. Your strength deepens each time you choose to trust while the road is still unclear. That is not a mood. It is a decision, made again and again in small moments no one else sees. Honoring me is not a feeling that arrives on good mornings. It is a choice made inside your spirit, and when you make it, the things holding you captive begin to lose their claim. This firmness is built in ordinary days. Connect yourself to the truth of my presence daily, not to gather information but to feed your spirit. Say out loud what is true about me. Let your inner life be a place where you remember who I am rather than a room where you rehearse old wounds. When sorrow comes, let your voice give thanks anyway. When you are unsure, bring the question to me instead of turning it over alone at night. On the days when your feelings are too much to carry, stop everything and rest your heart with me. You do not need to understand every part of this to trust me. You only need to keep turning toward my voice. Your strength will not lift you out of your life. It will hold you steady as you move through it. When your thoughts are set on me, even the hard hours become places where something in you is set free. That quiet inside you also makes you able to see. It clears the air enough for you to recognize the gentle understanding I send, which reaches only those who are not weighed down by constant doubt. My way of seeing goes far past what makes sense to you. When I speak, my aim is not only to hand you instructions, it is to change how you look at everything. Human thinking holds tightly to what it already knows. My leading does not. I loosen old patterns. I soften beliefs that have hardened into walls. I lead you down roads you had written off as impossible, not to confuse you, but to grow you. There will be times when I ask you to do something that looks wrong from where you stand and is right from where I stand. I will ask you to release what someone did to you. I will ask you to be gentle with those who walked away. I will ask you to begin again in a place where beginning looks pointless. What matters is not that you understand every step at the moment I ask. What matters is that you take it. In daily terms, this means you stop resisting the change I am working in you. It means saying, I do not fully grasp this, but I will move the way you are showing me. It means letting go of thoughts and habits that keep your spirit small. I am inviting you into a closeness with me deeper than anything you have known. That deeper connection begins the moment you set down your own vantage point and take up mine. Only in that yielding does your thinking gain real wisdom, because it stops leaning on limited human reasoning and starts to echo the truth of who I am. When your thoughts line up with my leading, my presence becomes unmistakable. There's no room left for the endless questioning that has worn you out. When your thinking agrees with my purpose, the second guessing that has drained you finally quiets down. Now let me speak about your household and the ordinary parts of your life, because I am not only concerned with your inner world, I care about the atmosphere in the place where you sleep. I care about whether the weight of provision keeps you awake. I care about the ones you carry in prayer, the people whose names you say to me when you cannot say them to anyone else. Peace is returning to your dwelling. Not the kind that comes from everything going right, but the kind that settles in and stays even while things are being sorted out. You will notice it first in small ways. A morning that does not begin with dread. An evening where your shoulders come down. Provision is being directed toward you. Doors that were closed for a long stretch are being opened, and the strange thing is that you will not have to force any of them. Some will simply be standing open when you arrive, and you will know that no effort of yours accounts for it. Someone is going to come back into your life carrying something you needed, a word that closes a painful chapter, an answer you stopped expecting, help from a direction you were not watching. Do not be surprised when it comes without warning. That is how I have often worked. The help arrives from the side you were not defending, from the person you would not have chosen, in the week you had already written off. And I am going to restore what you thought was gone for good. Years you counted as wasted. Opportunities you believed had passed you by. I am able to give back time in ways that make no sense on paper and hold up completely in a life. I will turn your sorrow into gladness. I will fill the empty places in your journey with more than enough. My word on this does not waver, and I do not overstate what I intend to do. You may begin to feel a lightness you cannot explain, old heaviness lifting off without a clear reason. That is not your imagination. That is what happens when something that had a hold on you is made to let go. There is one more thing I want settled between us before we go further. You have wondered in the hardest stretches whether any of it counted. Whether the effort you made in private, the choices no one applauded, the times you did the right thing and got nothing back, added up to anything at all. They counted. Every one of them is on my record, and my record is the one that decides outcomes. Nothing you did in faithfulness has been lost, misplaced, or overlooked, and I am not a poor keeper of what is entrusted to me. You will see the return on it. Not as a wage handed over grudgingly, but as a father who has been waiting for the right moment to hand his child what he has been holding. Let me speak once more to your part in this. Protect what I am building. Be careful whose voices you allow to guide you in this season. Not every word spoken over you comes from me. Some people mean well and still hand you fear. When I speak, you will know it. My leading brings settledness, not confusion. My direction brings stillness, not panic. So if something makes you feel rushed or uneasy or ashamed, stop and bring it to me. I will confirm the right way. I will not leave you guessing. And do not tell everyone everything yet. Some of what I am doing is still taking root, and roots do best in the dark. There will be a right time to speak, and I will make it clear when it comes. Hold your ground while it takes shape. What I begin, I finish. If you believe what I have spoken, Let your amen rise now. I want you to understand what this hour is really offering you, because it is larger than a single answered request. This is not one moment of favor handed down and then withdrawn. It is a different way of living alongside me. I am not simply giving you something. I am inviting you into a nearness you have not had before. And that is where the real abundance is. I want to walk with you through the whole of your days, not only appear when the ground gives way beneath you. Too often you have come looking for me only in the hard weeks. But I want your ordinary afternoons as well. When your heart is settled and your hands are still, I still want to be near. My desire is to be glad alongside you, not only to pull you out of trouble. Let your life show what I am like. Let the way you carry yourself be an argument that I am good. There is a wideness to what is coming. More stillness, more understanding, more gladness, more of my nearness, which is the part you will value most once you have tasted it. Now consider what is happening beneath the surface of your life at this moment. Old weights are being lifted. Things built to wear down your spirit are coming apart. What stood against you has been brought into the light, and once something is in the light, restoration follows as naturally as morning follows the dark. You are stepping into a season of renewal, not a patched-up version of the life you had, but a life reset at its foundation. Hear me on this. What is coming to you is not only for you, it will make a road for others. People will see the difference in you and want to know where it came from. Some will ask directly. Some will only watch. Either way, your changed life will speak, and you will be able to say plainly that I did it. So stand firm even while the difficulty is still visible. Stand firm even on the mornings when nothing outward has shifted yet. What I have begun is already moving toward you, and every hour brings it closer. Let me address something delicate now, about how you have handled all of this alone. You learned to manage. You learned to answer that you were fine. You learned to carry your own weight so that no one had to ask twice. That skill kept you alive in a hard season, and I am not going to shame you for it. But that season has closed, and the skill has become a wall. You do not have to hold everything anymore. Set it down in front of me. I am able to handle every question, every worry, every unresolved thing you have been turning over. When your grip loosens, you finally leave room for me to work all the way through. This is what I have been waiting for. Not more effort from you. Your surrender. You have asked me for direction, wanting to know what step to take. Here is my answer. Stay near me. Do not pull back when the quiet comes. Do not doubt me when the timeline runs longer than you planned for. I keep working in the silence, and the silence is not absence. I have never asked for a flawless record from you. I have asked for your whole trust, and there is a difference between the two that most people never learn. Lean on me completely in this moment, and I will do what no one else could do in your situation. You have carried a suspicion somewhere underneath that you were being punished, that something about you drew all of this. Let me put that down for good. You were not cursed. You were chosen, and those two things can look similar from the inside when you are tired. Being chosen does not exempt you from difficulty. It never has. Look at those I called throughout the ages, and you will not find easy lives. You will find people who were carried through impossible ground and came out with something worth handing on. That is your line, my precious child. That is the company you belong to, not the fortunate, the carried. And when you look back on this stretch of road later, you will not remember it primarily as the years you suffered. You will remember it as the years I proved myself to you. Those are not the same story, though they are made of the same days. So let your spirit rest now. You have held the weight too long, and you have tried to be strong past the point where strength was even the right thing to bring. Now is your hour to receive, to breathe, to walk again, and this time without looking over your shoulder. I am not a visitor here. I am with you in every step, every decision, every conversation ahead. And the next time you feel lost, remember this hour. Remember that I broke into your ordinary day to speak to you directly. Remember that I told you the truth about what was working against you, and then told you it had already failed. Your story is not merely being rewritten, my beloved. It is being raised up. And what you are hearing now is only the opening of it. There's one more thing I want you to hold on to, and then I will tell you what is directly ahead. You are not required to have the whole picture before you take the next step. You never have been. The road opens as you walk it, and it has always opened, even in the years when you could not see 3 days out. Look at what is behind you honestly. You did not have the answers then either, and yet here you are, still standing, still listening, with more strength in you than the version of yourself who started out. That is not luck, and it was not your own doing alone. So take the next step without demanding the full map first. I've not brought you this far to leave you standing at the edge of it. Here is what lies directly in front of you. In the days just ahead, watch for confirmation. It will not always arrive the way you expect. It may come as a dream that stays with you long after you wake, carrying a clarity that dreams do not usually have. It may come as a word from someone who had no way of knowing what you were praying about. You may feel something break loose that had been fastened to you for years, without being able to point to what caused it. Not everything I do announces itself. Watch also for a turn in the road you had not planned for, a change in direction that arrives as a closed door and turns out to be a rescue. Some of what you called your future was beneath what I intend for you, and I am not going to let you settle there out of loyalty to an old plan. Expect relationships that restore rather than drain. You will recognize them by how you feel after the conversation ends. The right people will not require you to shrink, and they will not leave you exhausted from managing them. Expect matters to close that have dragged on for months. A situation you had accepted as permanent will resolve quietly in a shorter time than seems reasonable, and expect to be lifted in ways that do not add up when you explain them to others. That is often how I do it, so that no one, including you, can trace it back to anything but my hand. Do not rush toward any of it. What is coming is not on a schedule you have to catch. It is on mine, and mine has not failed you yet. I want to say something about the years behind you now in closing. You were not out of my sight in any of them. Not in the ones you would tell someone about, and not in the ones you would not. I stayed through the seasons when you stopped talking to me. I stayed when you went quiet out of anger, and when you went quiet out of exhaustion, which is a different thing entirely and which I understood. I did not stand back waiting for you to come to your senses. I stayed in the room. Some of the steadiness you have now was given to you in seasons you thought were wasted, and you will find it in your hands when you need it. So do not carry regret about those years into this new season. That is the one thing I will not let you bring with you. Leave it at the door. It has no place in the house I am building for you. There is something I want you to know about how I see you at this moment, because it is likely different from how you see yourself. You have measured yourself by what you have not accomplished, by the things that fell apart while you were doing your best to hold them. That is the ledger you keep, and you keep it faithfully. I keep a different one, Mine records the morning you got up when there was no reason to. The kindness you gave when you had nothing left. The prayer you said for someone else while your own situation was unresolved. The quiet refusal to become bitter when bitterness would have been understandable. That is what I have been writing down, and it is a longer list than you would guess. When I look at you, I do not see someone who fell behind. I see someone who kept faith in conditions that break most people. Now the life in front of you asks for a different posture than the life behind you. You will not be walking with your guard up all the time. That was necessary once. It is not necessary now. And if you keep it up, it will start to keep good things out along with the bad. Trust me to sort what comes to your door. You will not be explaining yourself constantly. That habit came from years of not being believed, but you have nothing left to prove, and the ones who matter will not require the proof. And you will not be waiting for the other shoe to fall. I know that watchfulness. It kept you braced through hard seasons, and it will tell you it is wisdom. But in this season, it is only a way of refusing to enjoy what I am giving you. Receive it, my beloved. That is your assignment. Receive it fully and without apology, the way a child receives a meal without wondering whether it was deserved. Walk into your ordinary week and let the change show. Let people notice that something in you is settled. Let the atmosphere in your dwelling shift because you brought a different spirit through the door. Be generous with what I give you. What flows through open hands keeps flowing. What gets gripped tightly starts to stop. Be honest about what you have come through when someone needs to hear it. Your account of these years will be the bridge somebody else crosses. Not the polished version, the true one, including the part where you almost gave up and did not. And when difficulty comes again, because it will come, remember what you learned in this hour. It is not evidence that I have left. It is not a sign that the promise failed. It is simply the road, and I am on it with you exactly as I have been. You will not face the next hard thing the way you faced the last one. You will face it with something in you that has already been tested, and with a memory of this hour to steady you. So rise now. Rise with clarity. Rise with your heart guarded and your hands open. The season of barely holding on has closed behind you, and I am not sending you back into it. What is coming will be bright enough that the difficulty behind you will lose its power to define you. It will still be part of your story. It will no longer be the title of it. I have spoken this over your life. I do not speak in order to fill the silence. What I say, I do. You are held. You are seen. You are known completely, and you are loved without condition. And none of that depends on your performance tomorrow. Go and live it, my precious child. I am ahead of you, behind you, and beside you on the road. And now, before you go, let your amen be the seal on everything I have spoken today.